Yet more royal rumblings in the run-up to the King's coronation. Who'd have thought anything else? The big question, though, on everybody's lips is still whether or not the Duke and Duchess of Montecito, H&M, will attend. Today, we also learned that the late Queen wanted both Harry and William to fight the Taliban in Afghanistan. But before deciding whether it was too risky to send them to war, she went, no, I can't do it. But, listen, before all of that, a new bombshell book revealing what the Queen really thought of Harry and Meghan is set to hit our shelves. Our King, Charles, the claims... What? The third man among... I don't know what... Anyway, listen, let's get to it. Robert Jobson, how are you, my friend? This is some book, is it not? Look at this.
It is, Jeremy. You've been holding it up, so I'll still do the same.
Wait, can I just ask...
Can
I just ask a question? Why haven't I been given a signed copy already?
Because it's here. I've kept it because it's specially inscribed.
You're very kind. Thank you. We're also joined by Kinsey Schofield, live from LA. We'll come to you in a second, Kins. This new book, Robert, really serialised over the weekend, has really caused some ructions, has it not?
Well, it's the truth. I mean, the reality is I think it may have caused ructions with people that have been believing, some of the stuff that Harry's been putting out there. But it's a book about the King, and obviously the serialisation has pulled out a lot of the information on Harry and Meghan and what Kate thinks, etc. But really, it's a proper biography of the King. And that has to come into play is what was going on towards the change of reign, and part of that was the Queen finding it rather wearisome that she was having to deal with Harry, and that she referred the calls to his dad, and his dad, the now King, was getting tired of it all and said, look, it's tired of the swearing on the phone, tired of the demands for money, etc. and said, I'm not a bank.
I think it's very interesting as well, that revelation that the Queen at one point, Robert, said both Harry and William should go to Afghanistan and fight for their country against the Taliban, and then rode back on that, according to your book, and said the heir to the throne shouldn't. I suspect that again would have been another axe for the ginger whinger to grind, wouldn't it?
Well, we all know that, in all honesty, it's been a hierarchy of the royal family since, William the Conqueror. So, the bottom line is the spare is able to go to war. George VI went to war when he was the Duke of York. He fought in the battle. He fought at Jutland. So, but the reality is that although they both took the King's shilling, I mean, William did his bit as well. William served as in the RAF search and rescue, and that's still serving on the front line. A lot of soldiers don't see frontline service. Harry demanded frontline service. Remember, that's what he had a real go at his superior officers, and they actually had to go out their way to make sure that happened. And and they were concerned, of course, because it could have created a problem for soldiers serving alongside him, not for him. I think he was assumed because he was a captain that they're working for him. They were serving alongside him. And that's the reality here. And so, that they had to take, the generals involved had to take very big decisions. Yes, the Queen said they've taken the shilling, they've got to serve. They both did serve.
You said in your book, which I think is fascinating, and I'd like to expand on it, you said that in terms of Harry, you think Meghan clouds his judgment in many different ways. Would the King share that opinion?
I don't know. I think that the Queen felt, from what I understand from people close to them, that his judgment was he was so much in love with Meghan, and there's nothing wrong with that. We've all been there. But it was clouding his judgment, and I think that's what Her Majesty thought. I think the King, being a dad, will be forgiving of so much with your son and children. You always are. And it's a difficult position for him. I just wish that Meghan would realise it's not all about her, it's so about Harry. They've been given an RSVP. They've missed that deadline. It's getting a little rude now, I think, to say the least. That they're either going to support your dad on his moment of destiny or you're not. But don't just keep everyone guessing, because that then creates the whole tabloid speculation where it's basically saying it's all about them. And frankly, it's not all about them. It really isn't. It would be an ideal opportunity for him to see his grandchildren as well. I
completely agree. I want to cross to LA to the finest. And she's going to be here the week before the coronation. I'm very, very excited. I've paid for her ticket. Kinsey Schofield, welcome as ever. Robert Jobson saying, and I quote, right, Meghan's always thought it was about her. Absolutely. Still, we don't know. Robert's right. Still, we don't know if they're coming. Now we don't know if they're going to bring their kids yet again. And I would suggest this is absolutely deliberate, because they're both like that. They are turning what is an enormously important time for the king, for this country. They're turning it again into all about them, aren't they, Kins?
Well, first of all, I just want you guys to know that I'm just here as Robert Jobson's hype girl. Congratulations on the new book. It sounds amazing. I can't wait to read every single page.
A free copy. You could have one as well.
Hang on, I've got
two.
you one. Kinsey, it's going to be the ones that are not signed. They're going to be the most valuable. Just remember that.
Well, I absolutely agree with you there. There are rumblings around LA that Meghan has started recording season 2 of Archetypes. Meghan needs this attention, Jeremy. She needs all eyes on her, people talking about her, because she has pursuits and passions of her own. And I do think that she refuses to acknowledge, as she accepts all these Women of the Year awards, that the only thing interesting about her is the man she married. So yes, they are going to wait till the very last minute to let us know whether or not they're going to attend the coronation.
I think do you know what I love? What I love about you is your absolute honesty. She's not acting anymore. We've all seen Deal or No Deal, Box 23. Check it out if you've missed it, by the way. It's fascinating. The only reason anybody gives a damn about Meghan Markle is because of the man she's married to. Now, interestingly, Robert was alluding in the book to the fact that his judgment, Prince Harry, is somewhat clouded by his feelings for his loved one. Robert says, well, we've both been there many times. You've never allowed your judgment to be clouded by the love of somebody else, have you, Kinsey Schofield?
Absolutely not. I don't know what you're talking about. I have a cold heart. But you know, the idea of the Queen saying something like that, I think that hearing Robert report that gave a lot of credibility to Tom Bower's book, where Tom Bower says that the Queen was relieved that Meghan wasn't at Prince Harry's funeral. So when I read that, I thought, wow, that's, you know, I truly believe that. And so interesting to hear that from a woman that we know so little about.
In terms of the coronation, whether they come or they don't come, what sort of coverage? You're a royalist, we love you for that. What sort of coverage? They all love the pageantry. Is it still as popular? Will it garner massive interest or not?
You know, whether they come or not, absolutely. I think people will wake up early. You know, there will be events. There are events all over LA. I'm seeing signs out, you know, of some English themed pubs and things. So there will be worldwide coverage. People will be very excited about it, but they do risk stealing a lot of the limelight if they show up.
Brilliant. Robert, the book is amazing, and I mean that. It's genuinely brilliant. Our King, Charles III, the man and the monarch revealed. It says the Sunday Times best-selling author. Jobbo, do me a favour, an exclusive on Talk. Tell me something I don't know, the best revelation in that book for somebody thinking they might buy it. Yes or no? What you got?
Read the whole book and then you'll understand it better. You'll understand the man better. He's our king. I think serializations, one little bits, nuggets. The whole book tells the story of the king, and I think it's about him. It's not about anybody else.
What would you say, just to finish, to the people who are critics of King Charles III, who say, you know, we should bypass this stage of the monarchy on to William and Kate? I'm a supporter of King Charles. I think he's been in a difficult position. How would you sum up the man, having written the book, Robert?
I think he's a genuine spiritual man. I think he's make a very good king. But what I would say to people that talk about the personalities involved, it's nothing to do with that. It's to do with the system. We have a constitutional monarchy and a parliamentary democracy. And unless you've got a way of changing that and doing it in the correct democratic way, then we have the man who's going to be the king. I think he's a decent man. I think he's an educated man. I think he's the most prepared man for this job in history. And he will certainly do a very, very good job for our country and all our people.
Thank you, Robert Jobson, Kinsey Schofield, NLA. And just to remind you, on the run-up to the coronation, we'll do royals every single night on JK Live.